Hello dear students, good morning to all of you. As we were discussing about the company and in the previous class we have discussed various types of company. So now today we will discuss the difference between the various types of the companies. As we were discussing that there are three types: public company, private company and one person company. So how these companies are different from each other. So today we will discuss about it. So first of all, we will discuss about the difference between public company and private company. So in the case of difference between public company and private company, the first difference is minimum regarding minimum paid up capital. As we know that for incorporation of a private company, minimum paid up capital must be rupees 1 lakh, whereas for incorporation of public company, the minimum paid up capital must be rupees 5 lakh. It means the company has the paid up share capital. It means the company has already gained as from the share from its members as rupees 5 lakh in case of public company and rupees 1 lakh in case of private company. Next is minimum number of members. In case of minimum number of members, a public company has minimum 7 members required for incorporation until or unless there are less than 7 members, it is quite impossible to get the incorporation certificate. But in case of private company, only 2 members are required, only 2 persons are required for incorporation of company. Now there is also a limit regarding maximum number of members. In the case of private company, maximum number of members will be 200 under the provision of Companies Act 2013. But in the case of public company, there is no restriction on the maximum number of members. It means maximum number of members can be anything like 100, 200, 5,000, 10,000 or equal to the number of shares issued by the public company. Suppose that a public company has issued 1 lakh share, the maximum number of members can be 1 lakh. So there is no restriction regarding the maximum number of members in public company. But in private company, it restricts to the maximum number of members will be only 200. Now fourth is transferability of shares. As we have already discussed in the definition part, that a private company is the company which restricts which restriction on the transferability of the share. It means the member of the private company cannot transfer its shares to the other person, but in the case of public company, they are free to transfer its share to anyone. It means transferability of shares are free, but in the case of private company, transferability of shares are not free. The member of the private company cannot transfer its shares, but the member of public company can transfer its shares easily. Next is issue of prospectus. For public subscription of shares, a private company cannot invite its prospectus in the market for public subscription. It means it cannot offer its share directly to the public for subscription. But in case of public company, it can invite, it is free to invite the public for subscription, so that it is free to issue its prospectus in the market openly. Now next is number of directors, as we were talking about the number of directors, and as we have already discussed these terms, that in private company minimum 2 directors are required, but in case of public company at least 3 directors are required. It means in case of private company 2 directors are there, or in case of public company 3 directors are there, but the maximum number of the directors will be same. This is the restriction only in the case of minimum number of directors, that will be 2 or 3, but the maximum number of directors will be only 15 in both the cases, either it is public company or private company. Next is consent of the director. So regarding the consent of the director, there is no need to give the consent by directors of a private company, whereas the directors of a public company must have filed with the registrar a consent to act as director of a public company. It means in the case of private company, no one is asking regarding to be the director of the private company. They are assumed as the director of the private company, but in the case of public company, if the company wants to appoint someone as the director of the company, then first of all they must have to get the consent from the registrar regarding being the director of the company. After getting the consent with the registrar, the person can be appointed as the director of a company. And next is qualifications here. First of all, before knowing the difference, first of all we must know what is qualifications share. Qualification share is the number of share for which a member has promised to acquire it in the life of the company. It means the number for which a person has promised that he or she will contribute for that share amount. Suppose that if someone has promised to purchase 1000 share of the company, and he will be the owner of 1000 shares, so this 1000 share is the qualification share of that particular person who has promised to purchase it. So qualification share, in the case of qualification share, the director of a private company need not sign an undertaking to acquire the qualification share. It means in the case of private company, there is no need to give the explanation or any kind of undertaking or sign in any undertaking regarding provision or regarding providing the qualification share. But in case of public company, the directors must have to sign an undertaking that he or she must fulfill the requirement of the qualification share, or he or she must acquire the qualification share of the company. Next is commencement of the business. In the case of private company, a private company can commence its business after getting the incorporation certificate, but in the case of public company, a public company can commence its business after getting business commencement certificate issued by the registrar office. Until or unless a public company is not getting business commencement certificate, it cannot start its business. It can be a company, but the work of the company will not be started till the company is not getting business commencement certificate. Now, on the basis of share warrants, a private company cannot issue share warrants against its fully paid shares, whereas a private company can issue share warrants against its fully paid shares. Not private company, whereas a public company, whereas a public company can issue share warrants against its fully paid up shares. So in the case of public company, share warrants can be issued against the fully paid up share, but in case of private company, it cannot issue share warrants against its fully paid up share. Next is further issue of share. So in the case of private company, it needs not offer the further issue of share to its existing shareholder, whereas public company has to offer the further issue of share to its existing shareholder as right shares. It means this is the matter of right share or right issue of shares. In this case, if a private company is issuing its share, it is free to issue to whom it wants. But in the case of public company, it is not free to issue its share to anyone. First of all, it must have to offer its existing shareholder. Suppose that A and B are already existing shareholder of A Limited, and if again A Limited is going to issue its share, then first of all the priority will be given to A and B to buy the shares of the company, and first of all the company will offer the issue of the share first of all to A and B, and after that if they deny or if the rest shares are left, then the company will offer to other public. So these terms must be clear in general meeting of the company or in shareholders meeting of the company. Next is a statutory meeting. In the case of a statutory meeting, on the basis of a statutory meeting, the difference between public company and private company regarding its obligation for a organizing a statutory meeting. It means in private company there is no obligation to call the statutory meeting. The company will be in the existence, but in the case of public company, in the case of private company there is no obligation, but in the case of public company it must have to call its statutory meeting within getting the incorporation certificate within the 6 month to 18 month after getting the incorporation certificate of the company or registration certificate of the company. Now next is quorum. Quorum is a kind of formality. On the basis of quorum, in the case of private company, 2 members present personally and they can fulfill all the requirement. But in the case of public company, there must be at least 5 members to be present to take any kind of decision or to constitute any kind of requirement. So until or unless there is no 5 members, or if the members are more than 5, it is good, but if the members are less than 5, the public company cannot fulfill its quorum and it cannot take any kind of decision. So for fulfilling the criteria of the meeting, in case of private company, they must have to fulfill the quorum of minimum 2 persons or minimum 2 members, but in case of public company, they must have to acquire at least, or they must have to connect at least 5 members. Next is managerial remuneration. On the basis of managerial remuneration, the total managerial remuneration in the case of public company cannot exceed 11% of the net profit, and in the case of inadequate profit, the maximum of rupees 87,500 can be paid. But in the case of private company, there is no restriction on it. it is completely dependent on the managerial decision of the private company or the management decision of the private company. Next is special privileges. So as we know that private company enjoys some special privileges, whereas a public company do not have any kind of special privileges. Now, as we have discussed the difference between public company and private company, now we will discuss the difference between private company and one person company. Since one person company is also a private company, but still there is some difference between one person company and private company. So the difference, we will discuss the difference on the basis of, first of all, the shareholder in the company. In the case of OPC, only one person is the shareholder of the company, and he and she holds the 100% of shares of the company. Whereas in the private company, minimum 2 shareholders are required and maximum 200 shareholders can be there during the incorporation of the company. Next is for raising fund. In the case of OPC, for fundraising is quite an intricate part of OPC, as there is only one member who has the entire financial burden on his or her shoulder. It means in the case of OPC, fundraising is completely dependent on one shoulder, but in the case of private limited company, fundraising can be easy. It can raise its fund from the different investors. Now, on the basis of board of directors, especially in the case of minimum number of the board of directors, in the case of minimum number of board of directors, in case of one person company, only one member is there, and that is the managing director of the company. There is no need to hold any such annual general meeting or board meeting, since only one person is the director. That is the only one person is the director, and that person is the director and member both. But in case of private company, since minimum 2 members are there or minimum 2 directors are there, so in the case of increase in the number of the shareholder, it must have to organize the board meeting or one annual general meeting in each and every financial year. But in OPC, there is no need to organize AGM. Next is investment by NRI. In the case of in the case of OPC, in the case of private company, they can get the investment from foreign national or NRIs, but in the case of OPC, only Indian citizens are allowed to commence this kind of company. So they cannot get the fund, they cannot raise the fund, they cannot create the investment from the foreign nationals or NRIs. Next is business activity. Certain activities like an investment in security, non-banking financial activities are restricted in OPC. But in private company, these activities are not restricted, these are approved. Now next is compliance requirement. On the basis of compliance requirement, the difference between OPC and private limited company. In the case of OPC, compliance requirement, there is certain similarities of compliance requirement in both OPC and private limited company. But regarding regarding the terms of the income tax, they are different and they need the audited report every year. Next is, so dear students, as we have discussed regarding the difference between public company and private company and one person company. Thank you.